सद्गुरु श्री गजानन महाराज की जय. Namaskar. I am Atul Kokardekar. I feel blessed to present the English Pothi of Shri Gajanan Maharaj. With Maharaj's blessings, I hereby start. Sadguru Shri Gajanan Maharaj ki jai. Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. O Lord of the cosmos, deity of Pandharpur, you are formless and complete in yourself. You are the protector of the virtuous merits. Please don't push me away from your feet. O Narayan, do not disown me nor think of my sins. There are no pious deeds to my credit. As such, I don't deserve to come near you. In spite of all this, please accept and oblige me. Accept me like holy Godavari, which lets in the small tributaries. With that, you will save me from my grief and all my sins. You are all powerful, and if you wish, you can do anything. Even a pauper becomes rich with your kind blessings. Once Gajanan Maharaj went to Amravati to stay with Shri Atmaram Bhikaji. Atmaram was Kayastha Prabhu by caste, held an important office in the ranks. He was a pious and very devoted, and adored Santa to immeasurably. He worshipped the sun, offering him a bath, anointing him with sandalwood paste. He offered the sun a silk-bordered dhoti from Umred, applied a saffron dot on his forehead. He was honored with flower beds and various dishes, savory and sweet, with cash offering of 100 rupees. This was followed by Aarti and incense agarbatti. Pregnant of flowers were put on his head. All those present wish he was their guest. Though many desired, only few would have the favor, as it requires a lot of pious deeds on one's credit to get the sun to one's house to touch his holy feet. The sant understood things with his divine power and visited only those who had intrinsic merit. There was a leading lawyer in Amravati named Ganesh Shri Krishna Khaparde. He was wealthy, called Dada Saheb of the Shukla Yajurvedi Brahman Society. Maharaj went to him as his request. He was offered due respect. There was one Ganeshappa, a Lingayat Vani, who had a devoted wife named Chandrabai. She told to her husband that somehow the son should visit their house. She asked Ganeshappa to go and request the son to come to visit their tenement. She said, if our thoughts are pious, the sant will be agreed to visit us, because God is always gracious to devotees he deems precious. Said Ganeshappa, it's foolish to think so. It requires lot of recommendation from people of influence to arrange a visit of the Santa. Look at the troubles Dada Sahib had to face for taking the son to his place. In view of this, please don't press the issue further. Said Chandrabai, I don't agree with this. My mind says he will come to us. The sons have a special affinity for the poor. Thus go and try once and request him to grace us with his visit valuable. Ganeshappa could not gather courage to put forward his humble request, but Maharaj read his mind and said, I wish to come to your house. Please tell me how far it is from here. You should not hesitate to open your mind and tell me what you want. Come and take me to your place. Ganeshappa's joy knew no bounds. He took Maharaj to his house. They respectfully worshipped him and offered him all their belongings. Much such worship was offered at Amravati. Present each time was a humble personality. He was a nephew of Atmaram Bhikaji, working as a telegraph master in Mumbai. Balabhau had come on leave to see his maternal uncle Atmaram Bhikaji. He felt a great attachment to the Sant Shri Gajanan and did not want to leave him for a moment. He thought of mundane attachments as purely transient and decided to re-announcing family commitments. These thoughts made him stay with Maharaj, who would reject nectar and take poison. He attained all worship in Amravati with no other reason behind it. After a few days, the Sant returned to the Shegao temple. Instead of the garden where he was earlier, to the east of the temple was a vacant lot. Maharaj went and occupied the spot. Krishnaji got the news of Sant's coming and abandoning the earlier garden sitting, he came and prostrated before the sun and sat there with his head bowed, with tears in his eyes, and wondered why the son didn't return to the garden. Why are you weeping? What's the grief? Asked Maharaj. Tell me quick. Patil with folded hand asked Gajanan. Why did you not return to the garden? What is my unpardonable offense? I am just a child. Please remove the suspense. You are sitting on the piece of land which belongs to the gardener of the Deshmukh clan. Please don't stay here. If you so wish, come to my house. I will vacate it in a minute. O son, let me be clear. I will give up everything for you to be there. When Patil brothers knew he came, they arrived with a request that he stays with them. To this the Sant replied, my being here has a purpose implied. You will realize it later on though. Don't ask me anything now. I assure that this action will settle the feud between the clans of Patil and Deshmukh. People in authority suffer from confusion. They fail to consider the consequences of their action. Please go and call Bankatlal. When I left his house, he was not disturbed at all. Go and ask him why it was so. My blessings are with you and will continue in the future too. When Bankatlal came, he said, don't take him to your place. If he doesn't wish to go, I did not obstruct him a bit. When he left my place, we are his children. He loves us with the same generous grace always. Sakharam Asulkar, the owner of that plot, is a very generous at heart. He won't hesitate to give the land to Maharaj. Once this is done, our future plan will enable all of us to come together. Thus there was a compromise. A monastery was soon built with Parshuram Sauji's relentless efforts. Shri Maharaj had 4 men of reverence, persons with deep devotion. Bhaskar, Balabhau, Pitambar and Ganeshappa of Amravati. Later on, Ramchandra Kurau joined them with heart to make them 5 like Pandava of Mahabharata, which Sri Gajanan Maharaj as God Sri Hari admits the pious Lord. Balabhau felt completely resigned from the routine of this worldly life. He did not care for his service. Letters from home asking him to come back could not get him back on the track. Bhaskar then said to the son, Balabhau does not go because of the sweets he gets. I think good thrashing will show him his place. A monkey can be controlled only with the cane. Big mountains are scared of thunderbolt in rain. Balabhau was driven out against his wish, but he came back after resigning from services. Bhaskar thrashed him and said bluntly, stop bothering us thus frequently. Why do you visit us here, like a stubborn bull going to green pastures? Only those who have renounced worldly pleasures enjoy the privilege of being with the seer. Maharaj was not happy at this egoistic talk. To bring back Bhaskar to right thinking, he grabbed the umbrella of someone on visit and started thrashing Balabhav with it. When it broke down, he took a cane and started beating Balabhav again. People got frightened and started running away. Balabhav lay unconscious during his praying. With that beating, many thought he was dead. Bhaskar got worried but said nothing to the Sant. Soon the cane too broke into bits. Maharaj started trampling him with his feet, as does a potter on mud in the pit. During this time, someone called Krishnaji and Bankat. They came running to the side. They could not save Balabhav from this split. Bankatlal then gathered some courage and requested Maharaj to curb his wrath. Please spare him, O Sant, he is your devotee. You have thrashed him a lot, he deserved mercy. At this, the Sant smiled and said with no regret, You are talking something irrelevant. I have not beaten or trampled Balabhav. You can see it yourself. Why don't you? Go and examine his body for scars. Balabhav get up and show where they are. When he got up, they examined him carefully. Not a single scar of beating was seen on his body. He was as happy as he was earlier. This was all staged to teach a lesson to Bhaskar. Maharaj showed Bhaskar the privilege and importance which Balabhav enjoyed in his esteem cannot be moved down by any means. Bhaskar behaved very well. Thereafter, with his associate, even gold has to undergo a test to prove the genuineness. One Shuklal Agrawal of Balapur owned a very big cow. She wandered the street without qualms, hurting people with her horns. She entered grocery stores and ate the grains, toppling the rest on the roads. She kicked containers of ghee and oil, spilling the contents on the soil. She would snap the rope when tied at home. She broke the chains with all her vigor. All her movements were that of a tiger. People of Balapur were fed up with her. She was not capable of getting any problem. Never remained in indoor custody. Many advised Shukla to hand over to the butcher. Get her shot, someone said. Shukla authorized them to do what is best. A Pathan once tried to shoot her. She had sensed it much earlier. Ferociously, she attacked the gunman, throwing him away by her horns. Shukla took her to another town in vain, but she returned to Balapur again. Someone remembered that Govind Bau's horse was tamed by Sri Gajanan Maharaj. He advised Shukla to take the cow there and give her away as an offering to the sea, thereby serving a dual purpose, getting rid of the weak animal without efforts and earning pity by giving a cow to the sun. Everyone liked this suggestion of a gift. Attempts to catch the cow failed at every instance. Then they heaped cotton seeds and green grass as a bait to trap her when she chops. 15 men surrounded her with sturdy ropes. They caught and chained her from horns to toes and lifted her on to a bullock cart to go. They drove her to the town of Shigaon to donate her to Sri Gajanan Maharaj. On her journey she appeared soothing down. When brought to the sun, she was extremely calm. With tearful eyes, she looked up to the sun, whereupon the Maharaj said, You are all crazy to have tortured the cow, trying her neck, horns and legs. I vow. Those ropes and chains are a great torture. Such precautions are best only for a tiger. You fools, you know cow is like a mother. You have committed a sin by inflicting pain on her. Please unshackle her at once. She will not do any harm to anyone. Even with this assurance, no one dared touch her. At this, Maharaj went and released her. As soon as she was set free, the cow came near and with folded forelegs bowed down to the sea. She went around him thrice with her head hung and licked his feet with her tongue. People were surprised to see her behavior. The son talked to the cow in a gentle tone. "O cow, don't any more bother anyone and live here only from now on." When this happened, people raised cheers in praise of Sri Gajananda Singh. The Balapur crowd went back to their city. The humble cow stayed back in the monastery. No ropes or chains were needed for her. She moved about as a meek animal. Even today, the town of Shigao has her progeny living along. The sons always do good things, they never go wrong. Lakshman Gude, Vaishnav Brahman, a rich resident of Karanja village, had an ailment of the stomach, which had become acute with his age. He had tried various medicines, spending a lot, but it had no substantial effect. Hearing the name of Sri Gajanan Maharaj, he came with his wife to the Sant. The disease was a great pain. All efforts to walk were in vain. He required help to carry him to the monastery. 2 or 3 persons helped him in the journey. He couldn't even bend to bow down to the sun. His wife bent down and begged for a well-being of her beloved. Her dedicated prayers was, "O benevolent Gajanan Maharaj, I am like your daughter. I request you to cure my husband from the annoyance of his dreadful diseases." When nectar is at hand, messengers of the death have to disband. The Sant was eating a mango that time. He threw it on Lakshman's wife. "Go, feed this mango to him. This will cure him of the diseases. You are his devoted wife." He kept quiet for a while and started smoking his pipe. The lady remained still, seated beside. "O respected lady," said Bhaskar, "do not just sit here. Take your husband back to your place and feed him with fruit given as a grace. As soon as he swallows the mango nectar, it will cure him from his chronic disorder." She returned to Karanja with her husband and fed the mango to Lakshman. People asked her about the Shigao visit. She told them of the Sant and mango gift. She said she gave it to her husband. The doctor said it was all absurd. It will do great harm to Lakshman. It will aggravate his present condition. They quoted ancient Vaidyas of our land, saying how in this case mango juice is bad. They said you should have eaten mango as prasad. The effect would have reached your husband. Everyone started criticizing her, but then a wonder happened. Lakshman had a large fur. This eased his system to a great extent. Slowly he recovered and regained his normal health. His stomach ailment was all cured. Doctors cannot do anything beyond nature. At times like this, the blessings of God and Son's help devotees to recover. Lakshman went to Shigao. When he was completely cured, he respectfully asked the son to visit Karanja and his house there. He said, "Sanctify my house by the touch of your feet, O son." At first, Sri Gajanan Maharaj was very much reluctant, but at Lakshman's repeated request, he agreed to visit the place with Shankar Bhau and Pitambar in accompaniment. Lakshman welcomed Maharaj at his house and performed a detailed worship. At the offering of Dakshina, he said, "Everything here belongs to you, my lordship. Who am I to give you anything?" Saying so, he filled a tray with rupees and tendered it as the son's gift. Maharaj's remarks were astonishing. He said, "If you say all this belongs to me, where from did you bring these rupees? Don't try to trick me with your hypocrisy. Since all this is mine according to you, open all doors and throw away the locks." Lakshman kept quiet at this moment. "Go open the safe and bring out the contents." Lakshman opened it yet guarded the entrance. He said to the son, "Take what you like." Though he said so, he was insincere in his mind. The son could sense what was going on. An actor cannot pose as a king for long. A bitter fruit may look tempting, hides an astringent taste inside. Sons are unhappy in such surroundings. Maharaj left the place without eating anything. He did not care for Lakshman's property and ornaments. He was himself renunciation incarnate. He wanted to test Lakshman's sincerity. When he detected total dishonesty, he just left the place. While departing, he said, "You are too selfish, trying to own everything. Now be prepared for the further happenings. I came to bless you and double your assets, but it appears you are not this time to get the effect." This forecast came true, and in about 6 months, Lakshman lost his wealth and all his work. The Sant wanted to teach that one should not be vicious, insincere, and dishonest in fulfilling promises. The Sant was a jewel. Pebbles didn't beautify him. How can trinkets decorate golden self? Let the devotees benefit by reading these treatise. Sadguru Shri Gajanan Maharaj ki Jai. This English pothi was translated by Shri Shankar Pandit. Please share this video so that maximum devotees can avail Maharaj's blessings.